Hey.
Yep,
Okay,
everybody's good.
let's go. And then Kimo. Hi, Kimo.
Oh, oh,
Wow. It works. Holy shit, it
hey.
works.
Good job, tech support.
Oh, okay. Hello, guys. Welcome to the Scrappy Podcast, episode 7. We've been fucking cooking for the last hour, trying to
What's
get
up?
all the technical things out of the way. Hey, we're growing, right? You're either growing or you're decaying. We're not decaying, so we're growing. So growth spurts means pain.
Growing out of shoulder.
Yeah, grow. I love it. Got me on that. But anyways, guys, I'm super grateful to have Drake. We got Evan from Heaven on here as well, and then the Kumu Hula in the making. Thank you for bearing with us the last hour.
Oh,
Kimo
everyone.
Miranda.
No problem. Of course, I'm really happy
What's
to
up,
be
Kimo?
here. It's good to see you again, Loa'a. It's been a while.
It's awesome. Yeah, I can hardly hear you, but that's okay. I'm turning it up right now.
Can you hear me better now?
The feedback a little bit bad, but whatever's. Let's jump right into it, guys. You there with me,
Alright.
Kimo?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Awesome. Cool. Let's do it, guys. So
Yeah.
this podcast has a mission, guys, and it's threefold.
Nice.
Number one, it's inspiring authentic conversations, which tonight hopefully we have a authentic conversation, inspiring authentic conversations. Number two, celebrating the unconventional. So just not the conventional. And then number three, building a passionate community. I would love to dive into these things and read these things right now, but I kind of don't want to. Let's jump in right into the thought of the week, because I think it plays so much to what's going on right now. And the thought of the week is to think is to create. Kimo,
I like that.
Kimo, what do you think? What do you think about that? To think is to create.
I think that's very Hawaiian. Thinking about especially Death Hula. I think about what did they do back then? They had no like written language. They had like just trees and nature. So like I like that thought. When you think something, you gotta create it. For us in the hula community, hakumele or hakuli, it all starts with a thought. So have a thought, you have to act upon it and do something about it. And that's what I like.
It's
I think a lot
awesome.
of times
Yeah,
we have,
you gotta.
thoughts that go through our heads, but we don't act upon it. And they don't know. Maybe it's hard to process those things. But yeah, you have a thought, do something about it.
You have a thought, do something about it. What do you think about that, Evan?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It's a good thought.
So it's a good thought. Drake, you have anything on that?
Like Pharrell said, think about it, take a second, then Nike sign, just do it.
Wow.
The more you think about things, the more they become reality.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree 100%. Even just in the last hour, my mind was thinking about all the issues that was going on. However, I was fighting those old programs. I call them programs because it's not solution oriented. When I focus on issues, you just tend to get more issues. So I immediately made a change to think about a solution because I was going to make this podcast happen. So it's happening. It's not the best. We're going to figure out how to get better, but it's happening. So it's a great play on to what's going on right here.
Good job, Loa'a.
Awesome. And then, Kimo, this might make you happy. Kahualelo Kapule.
Hualelo Okapule.
Yeah, Kahualelo Kapule is the word of the week. I chose the word of the week.
Oh yeah. What is
But you like choose the word of the week since I get you on.
Sure. I'll choose the word of the week. One thing that's been kind of
What's the word of the
circulating was a lot of posts very modern. Sometimes it's like to comment on a lot of things going on. But my word of the week coming from last week would have to be aiha'a. ha'a.
I ha.
And in hula, it's two words combined into one. Hula, I used to eat. Ha'a, we used to bend our knees out of humility. So it means to be humble. So I ha'a, word of the week, is to eat your humility, no matter what it is, no matter what you're getting through, no matter what life is throwing at you. Sometimes you just gotta eat your humility and just get through it. You know, especially when your kumu's country, just gotta I ha'a.
I ha. That's awesome. Can you guys hear him? You guys cannot.
Barely, yeah.
Well, what is the I part again? I heard humility. Ha is humility, right?
Yes, it is.
So what does the I part mean? Is it just an emphasis on it?
Oh, AI is to eat. Like you, ai kamea ono, or you, ai ka lau lau, you eat something.
Oh,
And in hula, ai ha'a.
well, that audio is way better. That audio is way better now. Couldn't even hear
Can
you
you guys hear me
earlier.
now?
That's
So it's like to eat the humility. It's humility.
Guys, can you hear me better now?
better.
To digest. Let me check the stream.
Yeah, check the stream.
See how the audio
It's
is.
saying trying to reconnect.
Here, do your finger. Let's hear Kimo. Let's see if Kimo sounds good.
Yo, guys, can you guys hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good.
That's the live
Nice. There you
Okay.
go.
I was wigging out a little bit over here.
Yeah, we just gotta get headphones if we do the.
Yeah, no, for sure. We gotta get headphones to be better.
So what is IHA like? What does that mean on a practical level?
Like if someone
well,
never have, if they don't know anything about dancing hula or whatever, how could they implement that in their life on a daily basis? Like what is something like very simple? Maybe because everybody got to work because we got to earn $53 an hour. Maybe how can we apply that to going to work?
I like that.
No, I'm asking you, how can we apply that to work? Iha'a, the word iha'a.
For me? Oh,
just like be humble, yeah.
Yeah. Kimo, you might
yeah.
we'll be talking to you mostly asking questions.
I think
What does
iha'a
that
is
mean in
more
hula?
used to. It's in hula. It's more used to like. Sometimes we think we know everything. Sometimes we think that like, oh, I know this or I know that, or even though learning a song, if I went to Pahoa before, I already know Pahoa. I've been there before, but learning new songs about other people's perspective on Pahoa is pretty eye-opening, and iha'a allows us to just eat our humility of what we do know and to accept new knowledge, especially through hula.
Got it. Iha'a. Cool.
That's a good word.
That's a good word. Iha'a,
Get into
guys.
some stories.
Iha'a Chudo week. Awesome. This the stories, guys.
I think number 2 would be good. to
What
start
number
off
2?
with, yeah.
We'll start with number 2. Kimo, you get the stories up in front of you.
I don't at the moment.
Oh, okay. If you can, pull them up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I'm able to share this with other people. I might be waiting for the Instagram to load. Okay, so this was when Mr. Mean, so Mean Hawaii.
Shout out to Mr. Mean.
Shout out to Mr. Mean. This was on posting a picture of Mark Kelly Iho Omalu.
Mm-hmm.
And the question that Mr. Mean when post was this was from somebody that was watching, one follower. It says, "What's up, Mr. Mean? Was wondering if you can ask about Kumu Mark Kelly Iho and why year after year he comes to the Merry Monarch and doesn't place in anything, especially after he has returned this year with an amazing winning performance by both his men and women in both Kahiko and Awana divisions. I've heard so much theories, but haven't got a definitive answer. I wonder, can Mr. Mean find out? Much aloha. Can I stay anonymous, please? Mahalo." What's your take on that?
So that's kind of funny. You just mentioned that. I think people who want to comment gotta join a halal. You know what I mean? I can already tell whoever is commenting, asking this question, doesn't dance hula, probably doesn't have a Kumu Hula, and probably only watches Mary Monarch probably once a year. Um, if he wants to know
You know,
why, then you'd have
it's
to ask the
funny. It's funny.
judges. You know,
Yeah.
we have pretty good
You know, I saw some.
judges. What is that? There you go.
No,
You
go ahead.
no. I
Okay.
was just gonna comment
There's,
about.
I think there's like. I think there's like a maybe like a 3 second delay in
Mhm.
when you hear us, so we're going back and forth.
Okay.
So whenever we talk, we just gotta wait a little bit so we can hear each other.
Can do.
So where were we?
You want to give a little maybe background on who Kumu Mark is, maybe, and why there's kind of like a controversy surrounding him, or why this question was even asked in the first place.
Yeah, asking me that.
Yeah.
I don't know too much about Mark Kelly Iho Malu. That's why I'm asking. So I brought Kimo on this week because um, one, he's gonna uniki this summer. Kimo, can you actually share about your background in hula?
That's
And
what I was gonna ask.
yeah, what you how long you been dancing hula? Tell us a little bit about your hula experience and what's gonna be happening this summer.
Sure. Thank you for asking. I grew up in Hawaiian language school, so like most people who went through we call it the Papahana or the Hawaiian immersion program. We already were exposed to hula through school, so we were required to learn hula for like May days and stuff like that. I didn't get serious about hula until I was a preteen, and my classmate's dad was dancing hula, was teaching hula, my current kumu now. But when I first joined, I actually joined Johnny Lamho, and me and my hula brother got approached from my current kumu, Paul Nevis, to go dance for him since my classmate was his son. And it was 2 houses down from my house. I lived like 3 or 4 houses down from my kumu. And I've been dancing for him for almost 10, 15 years. Yeah.
Dang, that's awesome.
And this summer, my kumu wants to semi-retire. Kumu Hula's never really retire, but he wants to move on, and he's at that age where he just wants to do more things that excite him besides teach hula. And I'm so excited for him to go on his next chapter in life, and he's gonna uniki us, which is a Hawaiian ceremony in hula, where you are graduated to a kumu hula by your kumu. And it's going to be exciting. It's in July. I hope you guys can make it. It's at Palace Theater, and there's a lot going on. And I'm just excited to share hula with my community in Hilo.
That's pretty cool. Is there like belt system for hula? Like, can you be a white belt hulaer and then move up to like yellow belt?
Yeah, I
Black
mean, there's a
belt.
lot of factors in all halals are run different. Some have different traditions that have those steps, like how you talk about. Some halals I know they do have you're beginner, and then you're now in this class, you're now in this class, and then you're closer and closer. The higher you climb, the more ready you are to teach hula or be unikid, as we say it. But in our halal is very small. Our halal is very small. There's not a lot of room for a lot of that tier work. Most of it, you just are eager to learn from your kumu, and your kumu picks up on that. And we've known our kumu since we were kids. We went to Hawaiian language school. We've dancing for kumu for many years. We've helped compose songs and chants. We've done a few competitions. And I think it's equally our responsibility to move further in anything we do for that long, even if it's in work and you're parenting. If you're a teacher, you always find new ways to excite yourself and excite your students. And I feel like there is a tier list, but you just really got to go after it. you really gotta love your Kumu, gotta get to know him more, and learn as much as you can that he has to offer.
So, what is the first thing you can do after you get uniki'd?
Actually, we have no idea. I will be graduating with my two hula brothers, Namaka Di Melo and Kino Neves. We have a bunch of meetings together to see where our goals lie, what our ambitions are, and we're just trying to get through our uniki right now. But there's a lot of things working ahead. We want to do workshops, more workshops. I feel like that'd be a good avenue for us three. We definitely want to open the halal or keep the halal alive. Most of it is traveling. We want to travel some more. We've done minor traveling with our kumu and the halal. But I think since we have youth on our hands, none of us have kids yet. None of us are married. So the earth, the world really is an
Still
open
can
book for
party.
us.
Yeah, he still can party.
Yeah. There's a lot going on. Most of it is how are we going to be good teachers? I think that's step one. What kind of teacher do we want to be?
I love that question. Yeah. What kind of teacher do you want to be? So, what kind of teacher do you want to be, Kimo?
Honestly, I feel like knowing our Kumu, we have a lot of attributes that we take from our Kumu, from anyone that we consider a teacher. We take the good parts, and for me, I feel like I actually want to be a very strict Kumu. I think I see a lot of people who join halaus that sometimes could be talked to a little bit more about being more strict, more disciplined, more adamant about what they're learning, about how they're presenting themselves, and how they're presenting hula. So I feel like I want to be very strict.
Was your Kumu strict to
If
you?
anybody's listening out there, Kumu was very strict to me. Very, very, very strict. In a good way. All Kumus are strict.
What is strict? Like, give me some examples of strict.
I think strict for me, when I think about hula and halal
In hula, that is.
today, I feel like people got to know what they're dancing about. Even for me, it's a curse, for all dancers. We just are told to dance a song, recite it, and show up here at this time to go perform these songs, and then you forget about it. Overall, we're storytellers, just as much as if you told a good joke. You want to know the joke. You want to get to know all the details, so you can tell it really well. If you told a bad joke in a very bad way, then that's just kind of shitty, For me, it's getting to have our dancers know what they're doing, to be connecting with stories that, I tell people all the time, my family is a good fisherman, but I don't fish. I don't fish at all. But through hula, I have a way to get to know how to fish, how to throw net. I get to research all those things and get closer to that kind of storytelling, even though I'm not really a good fisherman. But I can dance hula really well about catching fish. But doing the actual act is completely different. But for me, it's getting more into what we're talking about, who the authors are, so we don't forget our kupuna. All the things our kupuna left for us, our facial expressions, our implements, if it may be. And there's a lot of strictness that goes with hula. I think a lot of people think you just press play and then you just copy, and then that's called hula. There's a lot of things that goes through hula that can be strict. But for me, it's the knowledge of what we're doing. If that makes sense.
Storytelling, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. For me, right, when I think about that, I think about the conversation between branding and marketing, and I believe, in my opinion, the what. So if you start with the why, you're doing what you're doing, then people will connect to that, because we're not trying to align with everybody, right? Or we're not trying to connect with everybody. Kind of lost my thought process.
Well,
on that.
so one thing that I'm kind of curious about, because I'm a layman to hula. Like I don't really know too much about it.
Mm-hmm.
Though I do recall that like in the times like before writing a written language, that hula was one of those that they like passed down either traditions or stories or history. Is that true? How true is that? And like, is that something that is important to you to like help kind of like maintain those stories or keep those stories intact?
Yeah, it's a really good point. Yeah, I think a lot of people will forget that. Back then, hula was just like a library. It was just as much as the Mo'okini library is today. Halaus actually, they have their own little style of storytelling, and they can present it to you as creative as they want. And hula was our way of keeping all that alive. About plants, what plants to eat, what kind of fish to catch, what moon phases to catch them on. I think a lot of development in Hawaii has caused us to really have a hard time connecting, because a lot of songs, old songs, they talk about, oh, this is used to be, the plantation fields, or this used to be a prestigious beach. But now we have hotels, we have, Airbnbs, we have restaurants, and those places don't look the same. So when we dance hula, it can be really hard to connect and remember those stories. And yes, we really do try our best to revive those. One song my kumu used to have us teach was Hene Hene Kawaka. Brother Is used to sing it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But it talks about the cable cars in Honolulu, and every time I dance that song, I'm just like, it's hard for me to connect because I have seen not one cable car in Honolulu. But when we were in San Francisco, I got to ride the cable car. So that kind of thing for me was very precious, because now I got to experience what it's like on a cable car in San Francisco, yet now I can connect to it as if I was in Honolulu. And that kind of stuff is where we want to make sure our people don't forget in that kind of way.
Mm-hmm. That's such a good song.
Hene
It
Hene
is.
Kowaka.
Yeah.
Isn't it? What's that song about? Like teasing? Your teasing smile or something like that?
Yeah, that song was about back in the day when they did ride cable cars, and families were very traditional, so you couldn't just go on a date with somebody like how you do now.
Yeah.
You would
Well, how you going
have
dates now?
your family would come with you on the cable car ride. It was like it was like 5 or 10 cents or something like that. And what would happen is the two families would come together, and they would go on this. The male female would go in the car, and there's these little bumps in the on the road for the cable cars. And so when you would hit the bump, that was Hene Hene Kawaka. It was like a teasing way, in a respectful way back then, where it's not so obvious like how today's age has all these apps to get to know somebody a lot faster. But back then it was old fashioned. You take a walk, go on a cable car, go to the beach, but you have supervision with your family. So very strict. Isn't that weird? That's a weird.
Yeah.
I feel
That's
so
so
weird going on
interesting.
dates.
That's actually courting.
Yeah, courtship. Yeah, there you go.
Courtship.
Hmm.
What are some of the
Very-
places that you traveled because of hula, and where are some places that you would like to go in the future?
The furthest I've traveled was Washington D.C. for this play called the Princess Kaiulani, or the Shattered Vase, that my kumu put on. That was very fortunate to go. Washington D.C. was a very culture shock for me. And I actually missed out on a few things because I was working, and I was really late on my passport. It was a whole thing, but I missed out on going to Japan, and I missed out going on and to Europe. And it was there's, and like I said, we're young. Me and my little brothers, we're all 30. We have time on our side, I like to think, for now. So we want to dream big now and travel to more trips to Japan. My kumu's from Portugal, and he's been there. I really want to go to Portugal. I want to go to New Zealand to see our brothers and sisters over there, because we see them all the time in Mary Monarch. And San Francisco is one of my favorite cities at the moment. Traveling my kumu was there. He grew up there, so he got to show me all his places where he grew up. This area, this beach, the Golden Gate Bridge. It was a really cool experience.
So is your future hula halal gonna be like a traveling halal? Are you gonna have your like different hula halaus in different nations? What's your plan with that, or have you been thinking about that?
Um, right now, of course, it's every Kumu's dream to have hula around the world. So of course, we would love to have halal in Japan, and Portugal, India if we could, China, Germany if they let us, you know. But for now, I think our focus is to get our own people excited about hula, and I think that's probably a bigger challenge than getting someone who's foreign. You know, people like to travel because it's foreign. We like to see new things, eat new food, have new experiences, yet lack our own history and lack our own experiences that we got to share with each other. So I think our focus should be on our own people, but not neglecting those who do want to learn outside. So for now, it's going to be small. I think we're going to think really small for now, and slowly build our halal just as big as our ambition.
That's cool. I like how you said that. Think small, because it's a phase process. Just
Yeah,
I mean, it's good to think big, right? Think big, but it's also good to take actionable steps and get the small steps done first, right? Because a lot of times we can
hmm
think about the big picture and not get done what's right in front of us. So I think that's great that
exactly.
you guys are doing that.
Yeah,
So at least gonna have on halal on Oahu, right? I like join. I like
I
dance
would
for
love
you.
to. I would love to on every single island if we could
Yeah.
rock those Hawaiian miles. You know.
So the your main halal though, is that gonna be out in the Big Island or what?
Yeah, it's
Out in
definitely going to be
Hawaii?
in Big Island. You know, it's definitely going to be in Big Island. Me and my hula brothers will be running the halal together, so there'll be three Kumu Hulas under one roof.
That's
And I
crazy.
feel like that's going to be a little crazy, but I feel like it's going to be beneficial because now we have three Kumus to split the responsibilities. We don't always have to pay all three of us to go to a halal. We can just send one. Um, you know what I mean. So there's
Hmm.
a lot of pros and cons about what we're doing. It's kind of new, although it's so new that we have to adjust to a lot of traditional methods of teaching. Um, yeah. So to be creative, I think hopefully we can be creative enough with the small amount that we have, and hopefully, of course, we can grow into a huge halal and or wherever hula takes us, even if it is staying small, doesn't really matter.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Did you guys hula before?
Well, you already know the answer to that question for
Yeah.
me.
I definitely did. I grew up doing Mayday, so any of the Maydays I did.
Do you remember a song
But
that you did in Mayday?
yeah, I remember a couple of them. I was just singing one of them.
No hope, pie pie.
No, so the okay, my first Mayday I did in kindergarten was like Kila Kila Ohale Akala Yiha
Oh, nice.
Kuahivi Nani o Maui Ha'ahe
It's a
Wale
nice
o
song.
Hawaii Hano Hano Maui no Ko'oi.
That's awesome. You remember that.
That was my kindergarten one, and then I had one in third grade that I did. Can't remember what it was. I'll think about it and get back because I definitely remember how it goes somewhat.
Oh, it's cool, man.
Yeah, but I haven't touched hula since then.
It's been a while.
Same. I only
Actually,
did Mayday
Maydays is a
to
lot
fifth grade.
how people get in love with hula. It's from Maydays. With the World Court, that's like a prelude to actually to Mary Monarch. So like you have World Court, you have some presentations, you have to dress up, you memorize your lines and memorize your cues.
Drake, what were you saying?
No, I just same thing. I did Mayday to sixth grade. You and I.
Yeah. I remember.
Do you remember any songs or no?
No, I don't remember
Same.
anything. What's funny is I actually did a little bit of research on Mary Monarch and how that was actually started. So I forget the lady's name, but during
Mary,
the
her name was.
Mary, I don't know if it was the early '60s, right? Because the first one was like '69 or '70, the year. But Hilo was going through some economic growth, or not economic growth. It was kind of like a dead city. So the lady had the idea to start the Mary Monarch to boost economic growth. Do you know anything about that, Kimo?
Not too much. I don't really know a lot of the old history about how it started. I do know there's a lot of mini competitions that were slowly left out from what we see today. But yeah, a lot of the old history, I got to research that as well.
Okay.
I just remembered the other song in third grade.
What was it? What was the song? Sing it for us.
Yes. Hano hano hanale kaua nui. E pakikai kahilimu o manua kepa. I don't remember the rest.
That's awesome.
Oh, it's awesome. That's cool.
Yeah.
You know any of that songs, Kimo?
No, I never actually got to learn any of those songs. Those are good songs, though.
Maybe we got to do it together
Yeah.
as a pod.
Yeah. No, for sure. Kimo,
Yeah,
when's the
you
next time you
should
on?
Hula.
When's the next time you on Oahu, Kimo?
Oh, I have no idea yet. Probably after my Oniki, or hopefully before, if I can snag some time. But most
How
likely
busy
after
is your
July.
time right now?
Kind of pretty good amount. We have 2.5 more months to our thing. We have to coordinate a lot of things. Costuming, we have to do a lot of more practicing and getting final details, you know. Most of it's our costume. We have to work with the seamstress and decorations and getting the manpower to put all those ducks in a row.
So, do you sleep? When do you rest? Because it sounds like you got work going on, and you
That
get
is a good
hula,
point.
you uniki.
hmm I sleep when the Lord lets me.
You guys have a show coming up?
We just did a show, Merry Monarch Friday, at Hula Hawaiian. My Kumu's been doing that show for, I think, almost 20 or 30 years. And my Hula brothers actually have their house band called KL Music, including my Kumu, Namaka, Kinohi, Akala Nevis, Christian, Bruce. They all have a house band. They do a lot of gigs throughout the week. The only ones that we have currently is at Loa'a Hotel on the first Saturday and the second Thursday of the month. So it's good little practice for our new dancers to get to know, what it's like dancing with people, getting your hair ready, being promptly on time, staying for the whole show, and just pretty good experience.
That's cool.
Did you guys watch
Kimo,
Merry Monarch
it's
this year?
I watch Merry Monarch, but it is getting to that time. We got to get out of here.
Roger.
Here in the studio, some people coming in next. But tell us again when the date of your uniki, where it's going to be, time. Give people the information.
Thank you. It's good to be here. My name is Kimo Miranda. I dance for Halau Ha'akeo Kinohi under Kumu Paul Nevis. He will be semi-retiring in July, and he would love to uniki me, Kimo Miranda, the Makadibello, and Kinohi Nevis in July, 18th through the 21st. Please DM me under Kimo Miranda or Kimo Kai Kola Miranda on Instagram to get tickets. It's at the Palace Theater, so you can go online at the Palace Theater and look through July. You'll see our uniki. We have a show on Friday at the Palace Theater, and then the next day on Saturday we have a luau that's open to the public for $15. And that's more for we want a lot of the community to come as much as they can. Hilo can be kind of late, so if you're late, this is your warning now to get your tickets. If not, hopefully we can see you at the luau on Saturday.
Right on. Thank you so much for joining us.
Of course, thank you for
And
having me.
we look forward to the next episode. But thank you
Yes.
so much, Kimo. Mahalo,
Hey,
guys.
mahalos everybody. Thank you,
Mahalo.
Scrappy Podcast.
Aloha. Hui
Aloha.
ho.